New South Wales by Jason Isbell is going to be played in drop D tuning and then capoed on the 2nd fret of the guitar, played out of D-shaped formations. If you don't know what drop D is, it's where you take your 6th string, which is typically tuned to an E, and you drop the pitch of it down to a D so that it's the same note as your 4th string, just 1 octave lower, and then we're throwing the capo on the 2nd fret. Whenever I speak of these chords and these frets, I'll be referring to them as though the capo is the nut, so relative to the capo, frets 1, 2, 3, and 4, instead of the real frets of 3, 4, 5, and 6. Also, I'll refer to the shapes as though we're in standard tuning, like a D chord, an A chord, etc. Also, lastly, because we're in drop D, some of our chord shapes will be a little bit different, like a G chord will look like this instead of like this, since our 6th string is really 2 frets lower than what it usually would be. Okay, so the way that Jason Isbell plays this live is to just strum it with a pick. Like a down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. But on the album version, I feel like he is doing a hybrid of kind of a 2-beat with the pick and then subdividing with his 2nd finger. So basically what we're doing here is a Travis picked pattern. Let me back up. All this to say, if you just want to strum your way through these chords that I'll show you, that makes total sense. But if you want to feel like on Southeastern, I'm almost certain this is what he's doing to get the kind of driving momentum feel that we get. So it's basically a Travis pick pattern where we've got our pick alternating on the D chord between the open string 6 and the open string 4. And then our 2nd finger is tagging the 2-string, 3-string, 2-string, 2-string, 3-string, 2-string inside of our D shape. So on my left hand, I've got my 1st finger on the 3-string 2 fret, my ring finger on the 2-string 3 fret, and I'm really just leaving the 1 string open here. So I'm hitting the open strings 1 and 2 just with a down. I'm sorry, the open strings 6 and 5 just kind of with a down. And then I'm pinching. My pick is hitting the 4th string and my 2nd finger is hitting the 2 string at the same time. So that I've got, and then I'm coming back to the 6th string and then 2nd finger to the 4th string. I'm sorry, 2nd finger to the 3 string. Pick to the 4th string, and then 2nd finger to the 2 string. And then that just repeats. And in the latter half of the intro, that little 2nd finger alternating between the 2 and 3 string happens for like 3 times in a row. So here's the intro very slowly. So that was the 3 times in a row. Alright, so once you get past that intro, which is basically just droning on this D chord, we're going to go to a G chord. Here our ring finger goes to the 6th string 5 fret, relative 5 fret of the capo. Remember, ring finger to the 6th string 5 fret. 1st finger will go down on the 2 string 3 fret. And here we're going to be alternating our pick between 6 and 4 again, but now the 6th string is fretted, the 4th string is open. And we're going the 6-4, 6-4 with the 2 finger on your right hand, again splitting the difference between strings 2 and 3. slowly. Then it comes back to the D chord. And also, let me just kind of pause for a second. That picking pattern is the most difficult thing about the song. If you can get that down, then the chords themselves are easy. So from this point forward, I'll try to just talk about the chords with the understanding being that that picking pattern is being pretty much consistent throughout the intro and the verse. We do get to just kind of more basic strumming during the chorus. So we get a D chord to the G chord to a D chord. Now sometimes in this D chord, you can hear Jason Isbell lift up his first finger to expose the open 3 string. So that whenever your second finger tags the 3 string for the first 2 hits, it's going to be on an open 3 string, but then you hammer back down with your first finger to the 3 string 2 fret. So notice that with the hammer, your pick isn't actually hitting the 3 string whenever you hammer on. Your pick is hitting the 4 string, and then you're hammering to the 3 string with your first finger. So that's a little embellishment to be aware of. So D chord to the G chord to the D chord. G chord to the D chord again, and then an E7 to an A7. So the way that you're going to play this E7 is you put your second finger on the 5 string, you put your second finger on the 6 string 2 fret. Your second finger needs to be basically blocking out the 5 string. You'll have an open 4 string. You'll have your first finger on the 3 string 1 fret and an open 1 string. And here, alternating between the 6 string and the 4 string again, and you're tagging the open 2 string with your second finger, and then the 3 string 1 fret with your second finger. And then moving into the A7, this is going to be an open 5 string, your second finger on the 4 string 2 fret, an open 3 string, your ring finger on the 2 string 2 fret, and an open 1 string. Here your pick is alternating between the open 5 and the fretted 4, with your second finger tagging the 2 string, the 3 string, and then lastly the open 1 string. And then back into the D chord, to the G chord, to the D chord to the A chord. By A chord, I mean the A7 chord to the D chord. And then here we get into the chorus. This is probably chorus or pre-chorus. It's going to go to strumming here. Down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up for our strum. It's going to be a G chord to the D chord. And here in this D chord, kind of hear the D begin with an open 1 string, and then hear Jason Isbell hammer on his second finger to the 1 string 2 fret, then back to the G chord, to the A chord, and here moving back into the A chord, you can hear, I assume he's probably using his pinky finger, but the A7 chord begins with something that is fretting the 2 string 3 fret, so that you get kind of a suspended A7 chord, and then you're going to pick up your pinky finger to where your ring finger still is going to be on the 2 string 2 fret, and then we've got a walking motion that is getting that hybrid finger pick again. Now live, again, I think that Jason Isbell is just going like like down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down, up, down. But on the album, I'm almost certain that I can tell that it's getting that hybrid fingerpick fashion there. So we're going the D chord. That's 6th string. The 6 and the 4 string here will always be the pick, but we've got 6 string and then 3 string will be 2nd finger, 6 string, 3 string, 4 string, 2 string, and then move with your pinky finger, leaving your 1st and ring fingers in position from this D chord. Move with your pinky finger to the 5 string 4 fret. Actually, I said leave your 1st and your ring fingers in position from the D chord. You can lift your 1st finger. So now we've got our pinky finger on the 5 string 4 fret, we've got an open 4 string, an open 3 string, and then ring finger on the 2 string 3 fret. And we'll do the same picking pattern. Pick alternating between the 5 and the 4 string here, with your 2nd finger hitting the 3 string that's open and then the 2 string that is fretted on the 3rd fret. So, and then then 1st finger, pinky finger comes off the fretboard. 1st finger goes to the 5 string 2 fret. You'll have an open 4 string, an open 3 string, and your ring finger still on the 2 string 3 fret. You will repeat that picking pattern of that's pick on the 5, 2nd finger on the 3, pick on the 4, 2nd finger on the 2. So we've got the next movement is going to be to just open up the 5 string. You're going to have an open 4 and open 3 and still a fretted 2 string 3 fret. We'll go 5, 3, 4, 2. So we've gone from the D chord to the 5 string 4 fret, to the 5 string 2 fret, to now the 5 string open, and then slide into the G chord. Ring finger just kind of slides, pulling up to the 6 string 5 fret, and your 1st finger pulling back to the 2 string 3 fret. So very slowly. Then back up to the D chord, and then repeat the D chord with a hammer on, like on the 2nd finger, moving to the 1 string 2 fret, and then open back up the 1 string, and then the A7 chord, and then the G chord. After the G chord here, you can hear a little pickup note moving back into the D chord, where you go down, down on the G, down, down, and then 1st finger on the 5 string 2 fret, open 4 string, open 4 string, then hit the low 6 and go into a D chord. Now on this D chord, we get another riff. After going to that D chord, you immediately, it like skips kind of the last beat, but you go to this D chord and you're going to strike the D chord and hammer on with your pinky finger to the 3 string 4 fret, and then you're going to lift up your pinky finger and hit the 3 string 2 fret, and then your pinky finger goes to the 4 string 4 fret. What we're doing here is we're going to be mimicking basically the vocal melody, and this is what Jason Isbell is doing on acoustic guitar. And then we're going to hit the open 4 string, put your pinky finger back down to the 4 string 4 fret, and then quickly hit the 3 string 2 fret where you're still in this D position. So you've got, and then hammer your pinky finger back down to the 3 string 4 fret, come back to 3 string 2 fret, finger on the 4th-string 4th fret. And then you hear a little pull-off moving from your 1st finger to the 4th-string 2th fret. Pull off to the 4th-string open, so that we've got slowly so far. And then open 4th string, pinky finger to the 4th string 4th fret, and then 1st finger on the 3th-string 2th fret again. So it repeats what we've just done. And then you're going to lift your 1st finger off of the 3 string to hit the open 3 string, and then come back to the 4th string where your pinky finger still is on the 4th string 4th fret. And then, so 1st finger to the 4th string 2 fret, slide your 1st finger up to the 4th string 4th fret, right back down to the 4th string 2 fret, pull off to 4th string open, and then 1st finger to the 5th string 2 fret, pluck that, pull off to 5th string open, and then pluck the open 4th string again into the D chord. So that very slowly, that last part was very slowly all together. That little riffy part would be you can hear random little hiccups of like the 5th string 2 fret to the 4th string open in the D, or kind of that same feel within the D, lifting up your 1st finger off of the 3 string and then hammering back down to the 3 string 2 fret. From that point forward, Jason Isbell kind of goes back into that hybrid picking, I think, on the album version. But again, on the live version, it's just strummed the whole time. Alright, so those are the chords and the movements to New South Wales by Jason Isbell. Hopefully this gives you an idea of how to approach the song.